anytime I do a video, in the past talking about Jalen Ramsey or Jair Alexander, I would get a lot of comments of people saying they were concerned about our pass rushers, defensive ends, because we have a lot of off-ball linebackers, a lot of outside linebackers, but not necessarily a lot of defensive ends.
Yeah. True defensive ends. Yeah.
Is that like a concern for you?
Nah, not really, because the Eagles didn't really have any true defensive ends in 2024. I mean, the only one that we knew of that traditionally played D end is probably BG. Sweat was kind of like that off ball linebacker / D end. I mean, but the only true D end was like BG because he came up in that era where the edge rusher thing wasn't really called edge rusher. They were just an outside linebacker or whatever it is. But obviously defenses evolve. But to your original question, I'm not too. I don't know. I feel pretty good about these young guys. I feel pretty good about these young guys. I feel good about Jalen Hunt. I feel good about Azeez Ojulari. I feel good about Nolan Smith. I don't really have a strong opinion about Josh Uche either way. I'm unsure what he's going to be able to provide. Who else do we have there on the edge? I'm really curious about Antoine Powell Island. Let's see who else we got here.
You talking about like edge?
Yeah, edge. So yeah, pretty much Nolan Smith, Josh Uche, Jalen Hunt, Azeez Ojulari. Those are your top 4 guys. Obviously, they moved on from Bryce Huff. So those are your top 4 guys. I can understand when you look at it on paper. They look thin there. They look young. They're relatively unproven there. But I think Nolan Smith is coming into year 3, ready to take it to another level. Jalen Hunt coming into year 2, ready to take it to another level. I like what I'm hearing from those guys. I think Azeez Ojulari and Josh Uche got something to prove.
Yeah.
They're on 1-year deals. They're trying to. I think they're both like 27, 28, something like that. They're trying to revitalize their NFL careers, and the Eagles have do a pretty good job at doing that, helping guys realize their potential. I think Azeez Ojulari is going to be a killer with the Eagles.
I'm excited about that one, bro.
I'm really excited about him. Out of all of them,
right?
I'm automatically excited about Nolan and Jalix, but as far as like the new guys,
and the ceiling is so high, like for Azeez, and he, like you said, he gonna have something to prove now. You know what I'm saying? Like the Giants, they got all them pass rushers. You know what I'm saying? They let him go. They was cool with letting him go. So he gonna definitely be like, hold on, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, he's not coming off that bad of a season. I mean, he only played 11 games, so he's been battling some injuries over the past few seasons. He 2023 played in 11 games, 2024 played in 11 games, 2022 only played in 7 games, in 2021 he played in 17 games. But just looking at his sack numbers over the course of his 4-year career, Azeez Ojulari, that is, 2021 17 games played, 8 sacks. 2022 7 games played, 5.5 sacks, which is a crazy pace. 2023 11 games played, only 2.5 sacks, so he had a down season. Then 2024 11 games played, he bounces back with 6 sacks through that same time span. So just based off of Azeez Ojulari's production, he's definitely capable of getting the sacks. That's the one thing that stands out to me about his resume right now. Although he has battled injuries, he's shown that when he's on, he can get you the sacks. He's a proven pass rusher. And when you extrapolate his numbers, his sack numbers over the course of a 17-game average, it averages out to about 8 sacks a season. So I think the Eagles looked at that as well. Josh Sweat got you 8 sacks last year, right? So if you can get that same production from Azeez Ojulari in a rotational role, that'd be remarkable. But I'm glad you brought the D line up, because that actually brings me to a topic that I have written down here, and it came up in the news cycle, I think, over the past 48 hours. The TJ Watt trade rumors have reheated themselves. He's obviously looking for a big payday from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He wants $40+ million. He's looking for a Myles Garrett contract. And I really can't blame him. I mean, he's one of them ones. His resume rivals his brothers. All pros, Pro Bowls, Defensive Player of the Years. I mean, Defensive Rookie of the Years. TJ Watt is one of the ones. That's not even a question. But what makes it interesting for the Eagles, at least, is that Pittsburgh Steelers analyst, somebody from the Steelers radio, mentioned that the Eagles could be suitors, or they should at least consider making the move. And Nolan Smith's name got thrown into the shuffle, into the
Absolutely
fold.
not.
And but before I give my opinion, I want to know what's your opinions on the TJ Watt trade rumors. What's your thoughts on the notion of the Philadelphia Eagles pursuing him and what it would take to get a guy like that? And what's your thoughts on Nolan Smith's name coming up?
I'm definitely not giving up Nolan Smith for no TJ Watt. That's a future for the right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had the same sentiment when Myles Garrett name was, being circulated and they talking about Nolan Smith. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? We got this young core of a defense played together, not only in college, but now got reps together, the stripes together that they built in the league, won a championship together, know each other so well. Like that UGA Bulldog connection, like, I know we knew it was going to be special, and like, I know we knew that these guys were going to benefit from having played together in college, but I definitely think we underestimated, or at least I underestimated how impactful that college experience they had together really translated to the league. Like, I'm definitely not trying to break that up. And it's not even just from, just the UGA Bulldog connection situation, but Nolan is our future. You know what I'm saying? Like, TJ Watt, he's still an amazing talent, right? But TJ Watt, his days, his years, they're numbered. You know what I'm saying? We got a guy in Nolan that could be our next Brandon Graham. Like, no. And all the money that TJ Watt wants, it's not going to make sense because we got to pay our own dudes. Like, they already said they probably got rid of Minka because they didn't want to pay Minka and TJ. So we going to bring in TJ, then we ain't going to be able to pay nobody.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Minka, I think he was entering the second to last year of his contract. TJ Watt is entering the last year of his deal. TJ Watt currently makes $28 million. He's looking for 40 plus. So it's like a $13 million raise. Outside of just the talent perspective and the personnel, the football decision of it all, I just don't think financially it makes sense for the Eagles as well. Like you said, they got guys that's coming up to get paid. Guys that come to mind already: Jalen Carter, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. Like, you got three anchors on defense. You got your three horsemen on defense who are definitely going to be some of your highest paid guys. When you find guys like that at high value positions, D tackle, corner, when you find guys that can actually play and they're good and they're well rounded, they're good team guys, whatever it may be, you got to hold on to that. And from the Nolan side of things, his value to me extends far beyond the football field. I think Nolan Smith has become the new heart of the Eagles, the new heart of that defense, in my opinion. I mean,
I agree.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not doubting anyone else's passion, but who plays with that kind of passion? Like, who carries himself with that same
excitement,
gladiator mentality, that excitement, that true love for the sport, true love for the game. Like, Nolan carries himself like a BG type.
right?
And I think the Eagles identified that not only this year, but I think they also identified that when they drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
They identified his personality. The Eagles are in the people business. They will comb through your personality and comb through your history like nobody's business. That's why Big Dom is there, right?
And he was that guy at Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, when he was at Georgia, like, he was that guy, like the heart, the soul of that Georgia team. Like, I remember when we drafted Nolan Smith and like doing the draft coverage, like, so many UGA fans were flooding, talking about, that's our guy, that's our heart, that's our soul. Like, we gonna follow Nolan Smith wherever he go. Obviously, we drafted Jalen Carter, we drafted Jordan Davis, we drafted Ringo, we drafted a bunch of guys. It's not a knock on them, but I'm saying I only saw that reaction from like the fan base from Nolan Smith. So like, he was that heart, that soul, that energy guy at UGA too. So like you said, when they're looking, that's something that they're looking for. And you need that. And you don't know who that guy is until you lose him sometimes.
That's a fact. I mean, Nolan Smith, you clearly see his impact on Jalen Carter You know what I'm saying? Like Nolan Smith and Kobe Dean are like their OGs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like those two guys are like their North Stars. Like Jordan Davis is obviously the personality, the fun guy. Jalen Carter is the enforcer, like that friend that we all love. That we got to say, no, don't do it. He's that friend.
He ain't worth it. He ain't worth it.
He ain't worth. He a good time. But we got to make sure we keep him off that ledge.
Right.
Kelee Ringo is just the laid back one that's like, hey, what we doing today? Right. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously Aziz Ojulari fits into that. You said something, right? The link that holds them all together, that UGA connection, that championship DNA. I think I underestimated it as well, if I'm being honest with you. I think I haven't been putting enough value on that chemistry that they've built over the years at UGA and how they've been able to win multiple championships together and how that rubs up on you. And winning is a state of mind. Winning is a habit, right? It shows up in your practice habits. It shows up in your nutrition. It shows up in how you show up. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's an accident that the Philadelphia Eagles were able to win the Super Bowl with these Georgia boys on rookie deals. I don't think that's an accident how there's been a culture shift with these Georgia guys and just the SEC guys in general. I mean, that Eagles defense, that Eagles team is Georgia, Alabama guys. I mean, you got Hurts, you got Devontae, you got Landon Dickerson.
SEC country for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like some of your best players come from winning situations. So things like that can only roll downhill. You can't help but to assimilate to that mindset. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm not in the mindset of trying to make any drastic trades right now. I think that's how certain teams kind of play themselves a little bit. I don't think the Eagles are in a position where they need to make a grandiose move like that. Now, let's just call it what it is, though. Is TJ Watt better than every edge rusher on the Eagles? Yes. Yeah. But he's 30 years old. He wants $40+ million. He's getting paid $28 million now. I just don't think financially it makes sense for the Eagles to make a move like that. It's just that simple.
I don't think financially and like we said, future wise, you know what I mean? We got a good young group that's in the same age bracket. You know what I mean? That can be on the same timeline for a minute if we play our cards right. So to blow that up, you know what I'm saying? Nah, this defense is young right now.
Yeah.
We're in a good spot. Young and talented. We're in a great spot. Nolan, one of our guys are going to end up being the TJ Watt when they get 30 years old. They not TJ Watt now, but we are going to have a TJ Watt eventually on this team from one of these guys. So
I think our TJ Watt is Jalen Carter. I feel like every defense has that home run hitter, right? That guy that just that number one guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think you need to be desperate and make a move like that. And let's be honest about this part too. The Eagles were the number one defense in the league last year, right? But when you start to look at the sum of their parts, the Eagles don't get the respect. They call us a super team, but when they look at us as individuals, they start finding reasons why we're not top 10 here. Why this guy's not top 10? Why this guy's not top 5? Why this guy doesn't belong or why this guy doesn't belong in this category? Or why this guy isn't as good as we think he is? But as a collective, we're a super team, right? So I say that to say one big name isn't going to completely shift the narrative for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think fit, chemistry, and execution supersedes talent, if that makes sense.
No, and I agree. And consistency. But when we were talking about Nolan Smith, Kobe Dean was the leader of that defense on the field. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about passion guy, glue guy, heart and soul. That's a little bit different than being the actual leader of the defense. You know what I mean? Obviously, Kobe Dean, the green dot, he led that defense. But Nolan Smith became a fan favorite because of the energy, the personality, the heart that he brings. It's two different things, I feel from being a heart and soul and being a leader. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like
Mm,
those are two different things. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
You kind of know what I'm saying? Because they were like, N'Kobe is the leader. Yeah, N'Kobe is the leader. But like, when we talk about like the energy, the
Yeah, the
passion,
passion guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not always the best player. Like, look at the Knicks. Like, Josh Hart is like that guy. Like, the heart,
Oh,
the energy.
I see what you're
You
saying
know what I'm
now.
saying?
I see
He's
what you're
not the
saying.
leader of the team. Like, Brunson is the leader of that team, but like Josh Hart is like the energy, the heart and soul. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like, he brings something that's intangible,
I feel you on
which
that.
I feel
Yeah,
like, which I feel like Nolan Smith does and was for UGA.
yeah. It's just certain things you can't measure in
Yeah,
this sport, and I think sometimes we've become so obsessed as a whole, right? I think we become so obsessed with the analytics and trying to, encapsulate someone's value in a single number, a single digit. And there are some things in this league that I love talking about that you can't measure, right? It's certain things in this league that people avoid talking about because they can't put a number on it and they can't. It doesn't directly support their argument. But I think the Eagles won the Super Bowl not just because of talent, not just because of coaching, but they won the Super Bowl because of how they approach their sport every single day. They won the Super Bowl because they exercised a certain level of will to get to their destination than that other guys couldn't match. Like that watching how they performed in that Super Bowl and that NFC Championship game, that wasn't just talent.
yeah.
There was venom. There was venom in everything they did in those games. Like they was trying to get some get back. Like for 2 years worth of strife, they needed to get back with the Chiefs. So that was personal. And then obviously, like Saquon said, the way the Commanders damn near stormed the field after beating us in what was that, week 15, 14? I can't remember when it was, but they almost like that was their Super Bowl.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Saquon was like, listen, man, the way they was acting after they won that game, we had to get them back. We had to.
Really, everybody's Super Bowl, that's crazy. Like, even before, like, coming off of that collapse year, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were still everybody's Super Bowl. It's crazy. Like, people were like, oh, y'all only got one ring. Y'all ain't y'all ain't this, y'all ain't that. But teams get up for us. Fan bases get excited when they are playing us.
They do.
So it's like week 2 against the Falcons. I'm telling you, it was a parade in Atlanta for 2-3 weeks. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. And I'm like, y'all say we ain't y'all say we only got one ring, we ain't do this, that, and the third, we overrated, but why are y'all celebrating for 3 weeks because y'all beat us in week 2?
That's crazy.
It's crazy the standard, like, we really are like the criminal of crime.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Nobody's having a parade because they beat the Dolphins. Nobody's having a parade because they beat the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's having a parade because they beat the Giants. They beat Washington.